And I'm Elon Warner, Warner Communications. I was asked by Bobby to really do something that's really cool. 25 years ago, Bobby started the first online magazine on the internet, and it has grown beyond his wildest dreams. He has become one of the leading voices in motorsports media, both in print, online, and digital. And we're celebrating 25 years and more of Competition Plus today. Bobby has got some exciting announcements about the future of Competition Plus, but really, this is just an opportunity to celebrate as media is shrinking around the world. Bobby has persevered and been an innovator and leader in motorsports coverage. Next to National Dragster, our house organ, Competition Plus is probably one of the most trusted voices in our sport and drag racing. And Bobby's the leader of that, and his staff people and photographers and videographers. So I'd like to right now ask you, Bobby, did you think when you started Competition Plus 25 years ago that you would last 25 days?
Yeah, definitely. I would have taken the under on the 25 days. I would have been closer to 25 hours, And it's just like, this is the kid whose mom was dying of cancer when I was 12 years old. And I got into drag racing media when I was 12 years old, created my own magazine because none of the major magazines would would write about my local heroes. And that's where it all started. And, I had two goals in life in drag racing, and that was to be the editor of Superstock magazine and drive a D-modified production Corvette. So at 12 years old, so neither one of those really panned out, but I think it turned out pretty good.
You're joined here by two.
Charming.
I'm trying to put legendary drivers, current legends, future legends, but to have world champion Jack Beckman up here, talking about what your coverage and hopefully future Top Fuel world champion Justin Ashley up here. I know you've gotten a lot of motivation from people, but Jack, what's it mean for you as a driver and Justin to see the Competition Plus coverage, to be asked by Bobby to do stories for both yourself personally and then also just on the sponsorship side, which is so important?
I'll give you the short answer. You think he believes that? So I'm sitting between Phil Burgess, National Dragster, and Bobby Bennett, Competition Plus. And I remember I subscribed to and joined NHRA in 1986. I was 19 years old. What year were you born in, Justin? Okay. Another reason to hate you. Yeah.
It's a crusher. Don't ask those questions.
And I couldn't wait to get to the mailboxes. I remember the combo to my mailbox, 6415 was the number, and you could look in the glass, and and I saw National Dragster rolled up in there, and it just made my day. And I'd go back to the chow hall, and I'd sit there and read it cover to cover. Loved it. It's how I got my news. The world's evolved a bunch. Phil's gone online, created the website there. So Bobby is providing that sort of information to the next generation and the next generation of hot rodders and drag racers. And to me, the standout thing with Bobby is I didn't know. I'm not really an internet savvy guy. I read the stuff, but I don't live online. I never had a job where I could cheat and go online for 3 hours a day. And to me, the most impressive thing about Bobby is as our friendship curve increased, because the time we spent together, whether it was talking in airports or going over a story in the pits, his level of credibility. You're dealing with a changing world where it's all about rumors and gossip and get me the news right now, don't bother to vet it. And I never have to stand up for Bobby, but I've been asked the question a lot of times. This is, if Bobby puts it there, it's as good as gold. As much as we deal with things on the spot, he's so legitimate and credible there, and I appreciate that in a world where that's easy to lose control of that.
That was a short answer.
Yes.
Justin, can you talk about how coverage on Competition Plus has contributed to the growth of your career that is still, expanding every race?
Yeah, I mean, it's critical, and I've gotten to know Bobby. I've really known Bobby since I'm a young kid, and it's an honor to be sitting up here with him and Jack. And, personally, he's had a tremendous influence on my life. When I first started in this sport, through Competition Plus and our personal relationship, he took it upon himself to help me learn about this side of the sport. And I think that's so critical. I think not enough people understand how important media is and your relationship to media. And Jack said it, when you go to a site like CompetitionPlus.com, you understand that the information that you're getting is truthful. He's putting out the right information, he's putting out the right way, but it also comes from the heart. There's a difference between reading something that's just kind of written and reading something from someone who's so passionate about our sport. And over the last 25 years, naturally, right, when you're in business, you're going to go through trials and tribulations, and maybe sometimes you fall somewhere in between, but he saw it through, and it really is amazing. I rely on Competition Plus for all my drag racing information. I think my fiance probably wants to kill me because I'm sitting there in bed going on CompetitionPlus.com on my phone. It's legitimately, that influential in my life. But just congratulations to Bobby. It is an honor to be up here with you and be up here with Jack. He's a staple.
I sense a promo ad here.
Bobby, can you talk about some of the influences? You are not a naturally trained journalist, but you understood the importance of telling stories. I can't tell how many times you've reached out to me to get the other side, which, again, to Jack's point, sometimes a lot of people want to get it out there first, rather than maybe not necessarily right. But can you talk about some influences and some people that encouraged you early in your career and then even now?
Well, I have to tell you that the one guy that was an incredible influence in my life was Dave Wallace, that ran drag racing, Peterson's Drag Racing magazine. I wrote a story for Stevie Collison on an obscure bracket racer named Scotty Cannon, and I sent it in, and I was so excited, and I said, "How was it?" And he said, "Don't quit your day job to do this yet, pal." And I was just so heartbroken. Then I went to Dave Wallace. He says, send me an article. And he come back. He said, "Kid, you need some work." And so I worked. And let me explain a little something about you, about determination and the will to never lose. In life, you have to refuse to lose. I lost my mom at an early age. She was my influence of everything. She was my everything, and she died. And when you're a 13-year-old kid and you watch your mom die every day, she wanted to be a writer. I ended up the writer. But let me explain something to you here about the will to succeed against the odds. I don't even have a high school diploma.
Me neither.
Let that sink in.
He's the smart one here.
Yeah, well, you're smart enough to work on elevators. but
funny car.
But the thing is that I knew my deficiencies and I knew how I needed to get better. And so I hired a writing coach to help me. I said, "I want you to edit my stuff so ferociously that I want to fight you at the end of the day." And he did, trust me. But he made me a better writer. And then the last, after about 2 years, he says, "I could keep taking your money, but I don't need your money anymore. You're good enough on your own." And that's, some of the lessons I learned. Now, to the guy to the left of me sitting up here, Phil Burgess, I learned how to conduct yourself as a professional journalist. And I would say that has been, whether you know it or not, people watch you. And that Hall of Fame appointment is no joke. You earned every step of that, and you influenced. I don't want to say I'm the next generation because I kind of consider myself part of your generation, but you have had an influence on people along the way. So thank you. Thank you. So, and to the NHRA family, I had a lot of learning coming along, but I learned a lot of lessons and their patience. And I'm sorry, I get kind of teary-eyed with this because along the way, I missed 2 kids growing up. I lost a dad. I had a heart attack, almost died of the COVID, and on and on and on. But let me tell you something. This 25 years gave me some of the best times of my life. And I met some of the greatest people, which are you guys in this room. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. But I'd be remiss if I didn't say a big thank you to a guy that was beside me when I wasn't worth being beside, and that's Roger Richards. And he stood with me, and through all my faults, he stayed with me. And when we would go to a race, and we'd always fist bump each other and say, when we could afford to get people to work for us, because when we started Competition Plus, we didn't even have enough money to have lint in our pocket. That's how broke we were. And when we finally got to the point we could have people there, Roger and I'd always bump hands and say the A team is here when we come to cover a race. And when he came to work Bristol, you know, the weekend before he passed, we fist bumped and said the A team is here. And even though Roger was definitely struggling, the A team was there. And there were so many people. You see, I get a lot of the credit, but it's having the great team around you that's what made me what I am, a kid with a dream.
Jack, do you want to add something to that?
No, I thought he was going to break down here, and I love that about Bobby.
Yeah.
He wears his heart on his sleeve. I was just here to cover for you, brother, because I love you. But I think it's one of the reasons that he's been who he's been. It's the perseverance. It's when you're passionate about something, never, ever, ever give up. And you can see it. You can always tell talking to him. You can tell by looking at him. That's why you're here, and congratulations, man.
Is there a, and this is hard to pinpoint over 25 years, Bobby, but is there a highlight where you look back and say, this is a crowning achievement for Competition Plus, or this is a story, or this is feedback that I got on what makes Competition Plus tick?
Right here, right now. Right here, right now. When you have a future Top Fuel champion and you have a champion in a funny car that will stand here and talk and vouch for you, and absolutely one of the greatest guys in public relations, and the NHRA at least gives me the time of day to record my story. A virtual nobody in the sport, just a kid who loved the sport, that refused to lose. That's right here, right now, is my crowning achievement.
All right. Well, Bobby, congratulations. Here's to 25 more years. I know you've got a lot of things going, to relaunch of Competition Plus and many more ideas, but thank you very much for taking some time out and for all your achievements.